All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a problem that I think drives so many of us absolutely crazy, managing all of our different online accounts and identities. You know, if your browser feels more like a tangled mess than a useful tool, you are in exactly the right place. So let's untangle this maze together.
Yeah, I'm guessing this question hits a little too close to home for a lot of you. I mean, whether it's for your main job, a side hustle, or just trying to keep your personal life separate from everything else, we're all constantly logging in and out trying to keep it all straight. It's a total headache, right?
And that headache, it comes with some very real, very annoying frustrations. Maybe you've had an account get banned because of some weird cookie conflict, or you've struggled to share access with a teammate without just, texting them your password. Or maybe your browser just feels like a complete disaster zone. Well, you are definitely not alone. These exact pain points are what's forcing a huge change in how we work online.
Which brings us right to our first section, the multi-account maze. We're going to explore why this tool we use every single day, our browser, has turned into this incredibly complex, kind of chaotic control center.
Just think about this quote for a second. For so many of us, I'm talking marketers, developers, e-commerce sellers, you name it, the browser isn't just a window to the internet. It is the cockpit. It's where all the critical work actually happens. And when that cockpit is cluttered up with a bunch of conflicting accounts, it becomes a massive bottleneck for both your productivity and your security.
So, naturally, people have tried to find solutions. And those early cloud browsers, they gave us a little hint of what was possible. But let's be honest, the demands of modern work, remote, collaborative, fast-paced, they have evolved so dramatically. The simple fixes just don't cut it anymore.
So what does modern work actually demand from a browser? Well, for one, we need persistence. You have to be able to pick up a session on any device, right? Not be chained to your one laptop. We need true built-in collaboration so teams can work together securely without jumping through hoops. We need flexible proxy support so we can actually control our digital footprint. And it all needs to have a zero local footprint, nothing installed on your machine. And of course, all of that needs to be wrapped in enterprise-grade security.
So, to meet all of those modern demands, a whole new category of tool has emerged. And this is what we're talking about today, the cloud-native browser. It's something that's designed from the ground up to solve this multi-account chaos once and for all. So, what in the world is a cloud-native browser? Okay, imagine this. Every single browser tab you open is its own completely separate, sealed-off computer that's running in the cloud. Platforms like Sendwin literally just stream these isolated sessions right to your screen with no extensions or local software needed. That complete isolation, that's the key. And the impact of this approach is pretty staggering. By just getting rid of all that friction, all that time spent logging in and out and juggling accounts, the source suggests that teams can see up to an 80% increase in their productivity, pipeline speed. I mean, that is a massive gain, just from cleaning up the cockpit.
Okay, so how does this actually work? Let's kind of pop the hood and take a look at the core features that make this whole technology possible. And we'll use Sendwin as our main example from the source material.
So the foundational technology here is called session isolation. Think of it like this. Your normal browser is like one big, messy filing cabinet where all your documents get mixed up and start to stick to each other. A cloud-native browser gives you a separate, locked filing cabinet for every single tab. Nothing ever leaks between them.
This simple phrase right here represents a huge shift in how teams can collaborate. Instead of sending a password over Slack or email, you can just grant a colleague access to a live, working session. They can do the task they need to do, but they never, ever see the credentials. That is a massive leap forward for security.
And the security model here is seriously layered. We're talking strong per-session encryption. It uses a zero-trust approach, which basically means it assumes nothing is safe and verifies everything. And because the session is really just a video stream to your device, any potential malware or phishing attack is totally isolated up in the cloud. It never even touches your machine.
So when you put all these features side by side, you can really see the evolution in this space. While older cloud browsers gave you some basic isolation, these newer platforms are all about next-level features like true per-tab isolation. The key distinctions the source highlights are things like the ability to share sessions without the password, the option to bring your own proxy for each session, and applying specific powerful encryption on a per-session basis.
All right, so that's the tech, but let's talk about the real-world impact. It's one thing to understand the features, but it's a whole other thing to see how this completely transforms the daily grinds for different professionals.
Okay, so take a digital marketer. They're trying to manage a dozen different ad accounts for all their clients. In a normal browser, that is a minefield of conflicting cookies. You're always one click away from getting an account suspended. With this,
each client just lives in their own isolated tab. That risk is completely eliminated.
It's the exact same story for e-commerce sellers, people running multiple shops on Amazon or Etsy. Their biggest fear is having their stores accidentally linked and then banned. With session isolation, each storefront operates in its own perfect little bubble, letting them manage their whole portfolio from just one window, with total peace of mind.
Now, for all the developers and QA teams out there, this solves a constant headache. Instead of spending all that time manually clearing cookies and cache, you can just instantly spin up a perfectly clean, isolated browser for every single test. And your local machine never gets junked up.
And for remote teams, this just solves a massive security problem. You can onboard a new contractor, give them access to the exact tools they need inside a shared session, and then you just revoke that access instantly when they're done. A single password never ever has to change hands.
So, what's the big takeaway here? This isn't just about a new browser. It's about a fundamental shift in how we manage and secure our digital identities online. And that shift leads to a much, much safer and more productive way of working.
So as you go out and look at tools to tame your own workflow, these are the new standards you should be looking for. You got to ask, is the isolation truly per tab? Is the security model really zero trust? Can you collaborate without sharing secrets? Does it save your sessions across all your devices? This right here is the checklist for a modern, secure browser.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about. As our work gets more distributed, more collaborative, and way more security critical, is the future of that work really going to be running on our local machines, or is it destined for the cloud? It's a critical question for the future of how we all get work done. I'm your host, and this has been The Explainer.